Hello, I'm Catherine Rowan. Today I'm talking about how I use human design among other tools in my coaching practice. So mainly I coach women, professional women and entrepreneurial women who are sort of either reviewing how they show up in the world or maybe looking to make some sort of transition, or if they're business owners, maybe they're looking to clarify their niching or the way they present themselves to the world, like, via their marketing and their websites, etc. The human design is such a useful tool because it operates as a blueprint of a person's energy. So how the gifts that a person has in their body vehicle, in their form, and the energies at the time of their birth, and also 88 days before their birth, because according to human design, this is a soul imprint. So you have this imprint at birth, which is, they call it the personality. So it's more how a person presents to others and how others see them. Whereas the soul imprint may be more unconscious, and they're more like the inner drives, the inner forces. So it's really helpful to have a tool that looks at both of these things. One of the key things about human design is that we can use in terms of, like, particularly if somebody is looking at it from a business point of view or considering what it is they're offering to others through their job. Now, I just want to say here that what human design is not really telling you is, it's not telling you the specifics of like a type of job or career you would do, or the tools maybe that you would use. So it doesn't necessarily say what the medium of expression is, but it says energetically what you're doing, and therefore you can use those themes in your marketing and your messaging. So there are a whole number of ways that we look at in human design to clarify this. Now, one, maybe the main way, in fact, is your incarnation cross. Now, there are 192 of these, so there are a lot of incarnation crosses. But your incarnation cross is made up of the 4 gates, the sun position and the opposite position of the sun, which is the earth position, and on both the personality and the design side. So when we're doing a chart, particularly if it's somebody who's looking after their business, we're looking at the personality sun as their brand. What is the energy that comes through them as a person that is unique to them, and others might see as, something that is special, if you like, that they receive from them, that person, energetically. And at least if you know that, you can then sort of make sure that, some of your messaging is in line with that. In other ways that you present yourself, what gift you're giving to others, even if it's not your medium of expression. Like, for example, your personality design, it's not going to say, oh, you should be a coach, or you should be an artist or something like that. But it might sort of say, you might have a leadership theme, which I do in my incarnation cross. It's actually called the right angle cross of rulership, and leadership would obviously be a modern term for rulership. And that's always been a theme through my work. I've always worked with leaders in one way or another. So, when I started learning human design, it's really made sense from my background. So often this is the case. It's actually just going to clarify what you already know about yourself, But once you have that clarity, as I say, you can then use that to good effect in your marketing. So that's one of the ways, and then there are other things we look at as well, which are some of the main features of human design. You know, it's your type, your strategy, your authority, your variables, all of these other things. But there are some very specific things we can look if you're designing a business. As I mentioned, the brand. We can also look at your messaging, your Mercury positions. We can look at your design Mars and Jupiter positions, which say something about your desk work and your ideal business structure. So all of these things can be really helpful for people if they're considering some sort of transition in their business, a pivot in their business, or just really trying to clarify their messaging to the world, because these days we're all challenged to be really clear on our messaging, like on our social media profiles, on our websites, and it's sometimes success or otherwise of our messaging that draws the right clients to us. So this is often about, what it is we want to actually, the keys of our messaging, and how that's going to attract the people that our ideal clients to work with us. Now, human design is actually not the only tool I use for this, because I also have a training in a modality called tribal marketing. And tribal marketing together with human design can be really helpful, because where tribal marketing is helpful, it helps us to look into, well, what is it that our clients actually come to us for? What's their public problem that they're aware of and they speak about? However, our transformation is often directed maybe to a much more private or even unknown problem that they know less about, but that's what needs to be transformed for that person to solve the problem that they have come with. Also, really, I think where the tribal marketing, a process that I do, in conjunction with looking at my clients' human design charts, is a process called the Life PhD. And the Life PhD is, as it sounds, this is the PhD you've gained from your life experience, and particularly from your life challenges. It's like these woundings that may have occurred quite early on in your life have given you a very specific take on life, some specific skills, and through the process of working with those woundings and healing them, you've gained some very specific knowledge. More to the point, through the law of attraction, we all attract according to our energy, not just according to what we want, our upfront desires. We attract according to our energy, and often, particularly for those of us who do work as coaches, healers, therapists, astrologers, in these sorts of transformational art forms, we are going to attract quite often those clients who have wounding imprints similar to our own. Of course, the ideal is, if we're the ones in the position of being the transformational healer, that we have already done that healing. We're further down the path from the client. We can show them the route. And of course, then our tools and everything else are the mediums through which we perform this work. And that's going to be a different combination for each one of us because of our different, our own journeys, our own personal and spiritual development journeys, the professional journeys, of course, as well. It's the tools we've collected over time. So for me, I have a third tool that I help my clients with in terms of their personal expression, their personal branding, which is color analysis. And here I'm talking about looking at the pigments in their hair, skin, and their eyes, the shapes in their faces and their bodies. The method that I practice came from a woman called Suzanne Cagle. She's no longer alive. She died in the 1990s, but she observed that Mother Nature doesn't make mistakes, that just as in the animal and the plant kingdom, there are clues for the use of that will specifically for the plants. There are clues in their colors and their shapes and other things. That this also holds true for us because we're all living beings on this planet. So that's another way that I can help put people in touch with who they are authentically, so that we can see, that sort of helps me give people a faster route through to that authentic expression, because then we can then see, where it is that there may still be obstacles in terms of their beliefs or the defensive reactive patterns which have formed around their wounds that I may need to help them dissolve. So of course I've got a whole other range of tools and techniques for these dissolution processes, but packaging it all together gives me a really strong a suite of coaching tools which can, really help people do or maybe for many it's a cleanup job if they've done a lot of personal development already. Let's clean out the corners in the basement, release what still needs to be released, what's still standing in the way from somebody being able to really stand in really stand in their own design, their own essence as a powerful presence. I see this as a path of self-mastery. Often for women who've been on the divine feminine pathway or divine feminine interest, I say to them, it's like, you are a representative of the divine feminine. It's like she is operating through you on this planet, through everybody on this planet, actually. So that's why I have, I'm using a divine feminine by design, a domain name for my human design and color work. Because you are divine feminine by design. So let's remove what's in the way of allowing that full expression in the world. And human design is such a great tool for this. I do offer single readings as a starting point, but it's also integrated within my coaching offerings for those who want to take a longer journey with me. And if you'd like to do that, I invite you to please book a call and we can talk further about what works for you. So my coaching is always designed in a bespoke way according to your needs, what it is you want to achieve, and we'll go from a conversation. Lots of love and bye for now.